Games to be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money. They say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste it. You ain't got no time. Out and about, out chasing paper. The streets of my house, and the house always wins like Vegas. Never down for the count. Second win, second nature. Found mine. Never had my hands out. Fuck favors. By design, everything tailored. In my youth, it was shell toes, no Chuck Taylors. We choke game, how to have a game show. It's still the same code game, so it's still the same code. We all pay the cost, pay dues. Move with the mind state that I can't lose. On the grind, push a hard line with my linemen. Back when I was young, they said it's all about timing. Till it's my time, all the stars are aligning. I'm a diamond in the rough, couple cuts got me shining. This game you cannot cop on consignment. In the field, all we do is execute assignments. The game should be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money. They say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste. You ain't got no time to talk. The game should be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money. They say money talk, I ain't got no time to waste. You ain't got no time to talk.
First, we get into this paper. See, I want it all, plus some UNDERDOG acres, a lot of alcohol, few dad bags of paper. Run this shit like a ship and I'm the sailor. Cold, kinda like it's fresh up out the freezer. Cold, if she ain't talking bread, I don't need her. Soon as I meet her, I'm a fucker, then I leave her. It's the old McNeese, treat them all like bottom feeders. Break it down slow for them folks that don't know. I'm a seasoned vet, black belt out the dojo. With a wide range of weapons, so I'm out the holster. Keeping all options open, so many ways that I can fold ya. Told you from the gate, never been about no play. Get it on the go, they never been known for no delay. The game should be sold, not to be told. Keep your mouth shut, don't have to break the mold. McNeese.
Break the work down, it's fence the move. Push that work out, I distribute. Break the work down, it's fence the move. Push that work out, I just distribute. A young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor.
I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. You know I'm the boy, get money's what I'm used to.
Keep you straight from the gate, so I don't confuse ya. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'ma make noise, shout to my producer. I'm an entertainer, but I ain't here to amuse ya. Yeah, fuck with shooters and they all fucking users. Come through, wake that ass up like a rooster, hella early in the morning. Early bird gets a worm. Finna get rich for 'em, food for the worms. Cutting cocaine, dropping whole things. It's a cold game, make you run your gold chain. Hungry, but I'm moving in a keto state. For sure, beat the price on the keys in your state. Catch me running up a tire, fucking up a bag. Make me wonder how long will a good thing last. On my Curtis Mayfield, live a life I can't chill. Push a man, pushing packs, all I do is make squeal. Keep it 100, I'm just numb, yo, I can't feel none of these suckers when they say they real. Stacking Uber cash, I'm an out-of-state supplier. Random Uber man, he'll get away drive. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the...
And welcome to the Dynasty Show. Hammer. What up, Hammer?
Not a good day in the Hammer household.
Not a good day in the Hammer household. What happened, Hammer?
You know exactly what happened. Don't play stupid with me.
It's all right. Share it with the world. Share your fantasy frustrations.
Not only did my Packers put on an embarrassing performance against the New York Cutlets, I had an opportunity to make the playoffs in 3 out of my 4 leagues. The subscriber league was a super, super long shot, but I still had a chance. Obviously didn't make that. But in our home dynasty league, I was a win and in situation. And I didn't win that game. It was fairly close. I needed a Jordan Love to Jaden Reed touchdown on that last, Packers offensive possession when they did get the touchdown, but it wasn't to Jaden Reed. And then in my home redraft league, 2 quarterbacks, I had Jordan Love, Jaden Reed, and Jalen Waddle. And I ended up losing by 1 point on the last couple of Devon Achane catches on that ill-fated Dolphins possession to come back against the Titans. Achane caught 2 passes for like 1 yard, but that was enough with that half PPR to get him over the top. So I got knocked out of that league. So was a Giants fan. So it was just overall a horrendous day for me. I ended up playing video games and that's the end of my story.
I don't know if it's your Wi-Fi or what, but it was cutting out a little bit there. But yeah, that sucks for you. That sucks for you. But what's good to the chat? What's good, chat? Yeah, your internet is. I don't know if it's yours or mine. I don't know. Let me know in the chat, guys. I at least hear you going in and out. But Huss in the building. Daniel, what up, Daniel? Emil, what's up, Emil? Emil said Howell or Stafford this week.
I take it this is a playoff scenario. So I don't know. My internet seemed fine.
It seems fine now, but it cut out for a second.
That was weird.
But all right, Howell, Stafford. I mean, Stafford, that passing offense has been hot. I mean, the Commanders' defense is pretty doo-doo. So,
and they're playing each other. So that's an interesting. Rams at home, which makes it kind of a, there's no weather implications. It's like all systems go. I think I'm going to take Stafford here.
Yeah, I'm close to taking Stafford here too. I think just with how he's been playing. Shout out to Puka for an 1,100-yard season. Marty in the building. What up, Marty? What is good, Marty? There's Huss. We've got Bogey in the building. What's good, Bogey? Playoffs give me money. That's what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, Hammer.
I will say on the Sam. See, I'm going to sign off the show. I'm going to go back into the Matrix where I belong.
Crispy, what up, Crispy? What's good, Crispy? What I say, love doing just enough to keep you hanging on.
Yeah, listen, I still have some faith. It wasn't wavered per se. I was definitely frustrated. And the frustrating part was he was just straight up missing throws. Like it wasn't anything the defense was doing. He was just straight up missing throws last night. But I don't want that to take away from what I saw over the past 3, the 3 prior games. And when you look at the totality of the season, you're going to feel pretty good about what you saw. It's a mixed bag. So they're still in the playoffs. So there's still a ton to play for. Like they held on to that 7th spot, even though they lost, which is, that shouldn't take the life out of that team. And we talked about the schedule. This is one of those games we counted as a win. So I definitely want to see a bounce back against Tampa Bay. That's for sure. Can't hear you.
I said Emil said Hammer's in the Matrix. Yeah, you were in the Matrix a little bit before, but he's back. He's back now. So he's back.
I am Neo.
But yeah, tonight is a Dynasty show. So right now we are just blazing up a little bit and answering questions, and then we'll get into Dynasty running back stashes this week. We did wide receivers last week, which was really good. And we'll do running backs this week. But yeah, he pulled the bogey for a little bit.
I didn't even.
How do we get Herbert in purple next year? I don't know if that's possible.
I don't think it's possible just because he signed that massive deal. There would be so much dead cap money for the Chargers. And why would the Chargers do that? That wouldn't make any sense for
that's
them.
Not gonna happen. Birdman in the building. Shout out to Birdman.
Birdman.
Yeah, for the playoffs. Can you play Stafford over the Wolf? Washington's giving up the most booty right now, and Stafford's on fire. That's the thing. Do you play the hot hand? Like, I mean,
but what's interesting about Sam Howell is he's good. He's going to give you some decent rushing upside. He has 4 rushing touchdowns in his last 3 games. So, I just think Stafford's been playing better. Cooper Kupp looks like he's coming around a little bit. Obviously, Puka's there. Kyron Williams has been on fire. Tyler Higbee gets involved. Where the fuck did Demarcus Robinson come from?
Bruh.
Demarcus Robinson's out here catching touchdown passes? It's wild.
Oh, God. Folks screaming Stafford over everyone. I don't know about over everyone, but in this particular situation, yeah. Repeat game and wait for Stevie is to playoff this time, brother. Oh, shit. We're playing each other again in the playoffs? Damn. I beat him by like a point, like 0.2 or something like that. Like a crazy, not even a point, not even half of a point. I think it was 0.3 actually in one of the wafers leagues. And to get me into the playoffs, I think it was it was a big game for both of us, but I guess he got into. I didn't get a chance to even look at all the different playoff matchups yet. I just know, I'm in the playoffs in both of the wafers. I'm sure no one liked my Mostert trade, but dude is one high ankle sprain away from a career ender. I didn't mind the Mostert trade as in a, coming off the older guy, obviously, trying to get the young player. My only thing was that if you're doing that for a contender, they need Mostert like a lot more than than you do right now. So they're probably more willing to pay up. So I would have tried to probably tax a little bit, also throw a pick in there. Go for the second. If it has to be a third, then I'd live with the third and AT Perry. You know what I mean? I'd live with that. That's the only thing I would say about that is I think you could have pressed for a little bit more. But let me know if you did. Maybe you did, and it wasn't happening. And then he had no picks this next year. I would have took the next one. So fuck it. Maybe something else on top. But yeah, that's the only thing I'd say about that. But I mean, for your team, I mean, yeah, I like it for your squad. What did you think, Hammer?
About what?
The trade.
I did see a couple of different trades. I didn't see a
couple. Marty's was I think Mostert for AT Perry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was Mostert for AT Perry. I mean, listen, I would have tried to get a little bit more for Mostert. He is currently RB number 2. He is obviously 31, but yeah, I would have, like you said, I would have tried to get a little bit more. But the interesting thing about Mostert is he's a young 31 when you talk about mileage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a ton of mileage on him. His highest attempts was last year at 181. He has 183 so far this year. And like I said, I understand the age is fine, but the mileage isn't crazy there. So I would have tried to get a little bit more for him, especially if you're trading him to a contender, like you said.
And he's got one more year. If I'm not mistaken.
He's got next year.
I'm pretty sure
he's got next year.
Mm-hmm. So, so yeah, that's all. He said, yeah, he kind of rushed it. He keeps getting hurt. I mean, yeah, he's gonna get hurt. That's why he they try and probably split it. They split it a lot more now, or try to, but we saw in this game where shit was kind of on the line, right, for a long period of time.
Was in there.
Well, he was in there at the end, obviously, because it's he's the third down guy or the pass catching guy. But Mostert had way more carries than Achane did.
I'll be honest, I wasn't tuned into that game. The one thing
I forgot about
really
it.
quick.
I don't know about you, but I fucking forgot about the whole game.
Yeah, so did I. I mean, I didn't forget about it per se because I had fantasy implications.
But we were watching the other game.
I was so locked into the Packers Giants game, obviously, because I'm a Packers fan and I had a ton of Packers going, for my fantasy life. But one thing I wish they would have did is what they did in the beginning of the year when they stagger the games. Like you'll have the first game start at like 7, and then the next game start at like 8:15 or something, which I would have liked because you could have watched the first half, kind of got into that, and then you would have had the end of the game, solo. So I didn't like that they put both games up against each other. Not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I actually thought I won as well, really quick. I thought I won. I thought I won because the Giants game had ended and Saquon Barkley, I think, had negative rushing yards, and that put me ahead for the win because he lost like a point or 0.1 or 0.2, and that actually put me ahead. So I'm like, fuck yes, I won. And then I look at ESPN, and it's like, yeah, I only have a 30% chance to win. I'm like, but the game's over. Oh shit, Miami. And then Achane does the bullshit. So yeah, not a fan.
If Jacobs is out, who's a better pickup, Zamir White or Amir Abdullah?
I would say Amir Abdullah if it's PPR, which I imagine it would be. Amir Abdullah is just a more versatile back, and he's going to give you some PPR upside. I did draft Zamir White a couple of years ago in our rookie draft because I did have Josh Jacobs and didn't really do anything. But I'd just say Amir Abdullah just on the receiving upside alone.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't want to play any of them.
No, but if those are the options, those are the options.
Yeah, I mean, Abdullah actually got me a win in one league 1 week with a last-second catch, but I'm gonna say Zamir White because I think Abdullah might just keep his same role, and well, obviously he'll get a little more work than he typically does, but I don't know. Maybe Zamir White gets more carries. That's a tough one though. D rest of season: Colts, Pitts, Lions, Rams. Damn, we were speaking about this the other one of our last episodes.
That Texans defense flopped on us.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did bring up the Colts in that kind of group. Colts had the Steelers coming up.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up who's got who here.
That Detroit defense is a little overrated in my estimation. I'd probably say Colts, but you can argue Steelers as well, I guess. I don't know if I'm going crazy over the Rams defense. The Colts have the Steelers, Falcons, and Raiders. The Steelers have the Colts, Bengals, and Seahawks. I think I'd lean Colts there.
Yeah, definitely. We're not going with the Lions.
No. Vikings, Cowboys, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys.
Rams got Washington, New Orleans, and the Giants. But they haven't done jack shit all season, really.
Right. I think it's Colts by default.
Yeah, it might just be the Colts. We'll go with the Colts there. Birdman said it's a trap.
Could be.
And shout out to Birdman on the Godwin tip because he was peppered with 11 targets.
But I feel like Godwin's gotten solid targets. Maybe it was increased. I got to take a look at it.
Oh, it definitely was increased from. Well, he had 3 last game, but he was a little banged up, so he didn't really play. He was out there probably as a decoy, and then had like 7, 7, 6, 6, 7. He had 1 game with 12. One game with 11, so he had double-digit targets.
No, that was his highest target count since week 7.
Mm-hmm.
Tied for second highest of the season.
Kyler versus the Niners or Flacco versus Chicago.
The fact that Flacco is even an option, a viable option at that, is wild.
I told you Flacco slings that shit.
You did. Can we have another bet this weekend? What was it? Does anybody remember the bet that we had?
I don't remember. Was it Flacco? What it had to do with Flacco?
I
If I had to do with
so.
Flacco, I probably won it. Oh, I think it was it Flacco Purdy?
Might have been.
Purdy
went off.
No, it wasn't Flacco Purdy. Was it
Oh,
Purdy?
because
Maybe.
I think it was.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
I mean, Flacco had 3 tutties for 311. Brock had 2 tutties for 368. So
I think Flacco had the higher. I think Flacco in the sub league was Flacco won by 1 point, I believe.
Stevie B The Hammer. Well, you won the last one, right? So we're at even now, right? Yeah. All right.
I think
we're
might
even.
Be up 1.
We won't. Well, we're not going to count the DJ Moore one until the season's over. But
fair enough.
How do you feel about Fields versus the Browns if Stroud is out? We did go with Fields in a few questions last week, and he did deliver.
Yeah, Fields was pretty damn good in that game, and I said he would be running around out there. I didn't trust Jared Goff a whole lot on the road in bad weather. I was actually looking up Justin Fields.
Now we got Cleveland. We got Cleveland at Cleveland. What do you have any other options, Facebook user? Let us know what other options you got.
I would imagine he's got Fields and Stroud. If it's especially if it's a 1 quarterback league.
Yeah, I guess true. But I mean, listen, he could
run. Roll with it, yeah.
If you got no choice but to roll with it, I mean, I think you're fine. I think we all realize the upside that Justin Fields has with rushing the football. So at any given time, I mean,
yeah, you have to roll with that.
He could start running all over. Just know that there is obviously there's a risk. He could give you a dud. I mean, to be fair, he's gave you what, 1, 2, maybe 3-ish duds, kind of. The rest have been decent, couple big games.
I think that game against Detroit was kind of right what you should expect. 223 passing yards, 58 on the ground, and a touchdown on 12 carries. Like that's 281 yards total and 2 touchdowns plus the groundwork.
Yeah. Marty said he kind of rushed it. Yeah. Caddy in the building. What up, Caddy? Y'all got 1 week playoffs or 2 week rounds?
I did the 2 week one at the beginning when I first started, and I was like, this is garbage. So single elimination, 1 week. I'm not messing around.
Yeah, I think I'm in all single eliminations as well.
Oh, Marty, Marty, we used to be cool, Marty. I had to deal with that all night. I had to deal with that this morning. I'm not dealing with that.
Oh God. Caddy said Jacob's not playing. I think we don't know yet. He didn't practice for the second day in a row, so we shall see.
They have the Thursday game, no?
It feels like we should just they do all the way stay away from the Raiders backfield without Jacobs. Oh, for sure. I'm not playing any of these guys unless I'm absolutely desperate. And if you're that desperate, I don't know. That's rough. It's rough.
I'd go with Abdullah for the receiving work. Just those little dump offs.
I could dig it. White better. He fits what they want to do. Yeah.
Maybe with the same kind of style as Josh Jacobs. I could see that.
Yeah, for real. What up, gang? PB Dubs in the building. What's up with your boy Hammer? What's up with your boy? Yeah, he's been hearing it today.
Listen,
so he's sick of this shit.
Bro, honestly, Jordan Love made the winning play. Like he made the winning play, threw a touchdown when they absolutely needed it. So at the end of the day, he didn't have a good game. He actually had a subpar game. He'd probably get a C from me for that game. But he came back. He made the plays on that last drive, threw the touchdown pass, and he put us ahead. Honestly, the play calling on the 2-point conversion, I think, is getting overlooked when he ran that stupid jet sweep again with Jaden Reed instead of just letting Jordan Love go back there and find some. Jordan Love was actually played really well on that final drive and looked more comfortable. So, he didn't play a good game by any stretch, but he had a chance to he put them in position to win the game by throwing that late touchdown.
Yep. G's, he said, we firing up Keenan if he plays. I can play Addison or DJ Moore in a tough matchup. Who's DJ Moore got?
Bears got the Browns.
They got the Browns.
But the Chargers play Thursday, which is the key here for Jeezy.
Yeah, so you got to make a decision here. I mean, Keenan was targeted a lot by Stick, I believe. Somebody has to look it up, but I'm pretty sure he had a pretty high target share. He did have 12 targets.
That's interesting. I would lean DJ Moore. I know Cleveland at home plays much better, but I think I'd feel more comfortable with DJ Moore. That's a really tough position to be in. And then obviously the Addison thing. We don't know if Justin Jefferson's playing.
Guys, let's help out AGZ. What do we think here? We going with Keenan, or is it going to be Addison or DJ Moore?
I don't think you could play. I don't think Addison's a factor in this one. He could be because of the matchup with Chicago going against Cleveland at Cleveland. But I still think it's got to be Keenan Allen if he plays. No.
I mean,
they're
playing against Vegas, right? I mean, he is a target hog even still with Stick.
Right.
So like that's the thing. Like, do we want the targets, or do we want to take the chance?
Right. I think I'm taking the chance.
Take the chance on DJ Moore or Keenan?
No, I'd take the chance on Keenan.
Who's in the chat? What do you guys want to do? DJ Moore, yeah. Play Moore and close your eyes. Yeah, man. I mean, you would have to think that, because most of the time DJ Moore is getting open, like, feels maybe he's out of the pocket, he's breaking away. Like, I mean, he's usually catching a bomb or two. I mean, let me go to DJ Moore real quick.
No, DJ Moore's been killing it. He's been
I mean, he's getting a shit ton of targets. Like, and even though it's even though it's against Cleveland.
Jesus, DJ Moore's getting rushing touchdowns now. That's what we're doing.
Bruh. I'm going to go DJ Moore. Fuck it. I'm going DJ Moore.
Yeah, I can't be mad at that.
I feel it. Peacock. What up, Peacock? What's good, fellas? Just finished a 2-hour painting session, smoke break. Perfect, hey. Peacock. Perfect. I know you're hurting over there now with Nico hurt and Stroud. So AJ Terrell was shadowing Evans. Yeah, I mean, is there any update on Ramondre? Not that I heard of, but honestly, I didn't even look. Ruled out for Thursday. Oh, that was 6 days ago. Okay, they didn't update it then.
There is no update.
They didn't update it for 6 days. Damn, what the fuck? Kyler. I need Pacheco, Stevenson, or Jacobs to play, or I have to leave an RB spot open on a playoff roster. I need Pacheco, Stevenson, or Jacobs to play, or I have to leave an RB spot open on a playoff roster. I don't think you can do that. There's got to be some. There's nobody you can give up, bro. There's nobody. Like nobody.
The Pacheco thing was weird too. Like he got kicked out of that game against the Packers and then just mysteriously wound up with this shoulder injury.
Yeah. Bears defense since Adam Sweat is ranked 4th over. Yeah, we were talking about that. I think Birdman had brought it up last week how the Chicago D's been pretty good since Sweat. And then they looked good again. And it's like, what? Okay.
It roughed up Detroit.
Okay. Case of Mountain Dew. Yes, sir. Pacheco out again. Yep. Look up Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson stats since Sweat showed up.
Well, imagine if a guy like Sweat is commanding double teams, that's going to free up those guys, for the one-on-one situations. And if they make the most of it, we see how one great defensive lineman can make an entire defensive line better by absorbing, double teams, triple teams sometimes, if you're Aaron Donald or Myles Garrett or, one of the Bosa guys. So a big difference when you have one of those guys in the middle.
Yeah, Dobbs just get us cooked. We got cooked. Fucking Dobbs. Fucking guy.
Told you not to play Dobbs.
3-0, bro. We won 3-0.
That win is a win, dude. At this point, take it and run for the hills.
I'm in
and what's
17.
Go ahead. What quarterback is playing for you guys now?
Mullins.
He looked way better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why they were waiting for him to come back. I mean, he was on IR. Stroud will most likely be out. Yeah, it's hard to come back that first week. The Linsanity run is over. That's right. That's
what it feels like. Listen, a lot of people are comparing that.
I'm a Viking fan. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I tried to be the positive, but I don't know. Just didn't work out, bro. We fucked up. Sorry, Birdman.
I think I picked opposite Dobbs. I don't remember who the question was. It was Dobbs or
either, but you did.
Was it Goff?
I just went Dobbs because I was ringing him up all night.
I think it was Goff or Dobbs or something like that.
Maybe I can't get Abdullah's on waivers. There you go. I'm watching these dudes close. That's how I know we got the same players. What's happening? Song in the building. What up, Song? What's goody? Jacobs ain't trying to mess up his bag. Yeah, that's true too. If they're not making the playoffs, like he probably is milking that.
Really
bitch.
good.
We talked about that. We talked about that early in the season on like why not to even draft Jacobs, right? I mean, for him, Jonathan Taylor, like a few guys we were kind of just out on as like why even it's not even worth taking the chance like that those teams are good or playing for something at that point. So for sure. 2-week first round playoffs. Yep. Leading by 65. Oh, so your first week of the playoffs already started. It was week 14. I'm leading by 65, but his team is stacked.
Which makes sense if you're in a 2-week.
Okay. So you won the first week by 65? Is that what you're saying here?
Yep.
So you're up 65 going into. All right. I mean, that seems pretty good. His team is stacked. Of course his team is stacked. It's 8-team, bro.
You got to just take that.
Everybody's team is fucking stacked at that point, right? Roughing the playoff street, set a line up and close your eyes. Yeah, bro, it's getting crazy, man. That's your dude, brother. I snuck Reed in. Yeah,
we gotta roll what we got. I did tell you to play Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Reed wasn't great, but he does a little bit of everything. And with Christian Watson out, he was nice. I think he got 16.5 in full PPR. Maybe a little bit less in half, maybe 13.5 in half PPR. So he does a little bit of everything. And, I actually had him in a touchdown parlay. So that was nice to see.
C-Dog, what up, C-Dog? You guys like any Raiders running backs if Jacobs doesn't play? We don't, but if you had to choose one, I went with White. Hammer went with Abdullah. Good luck if you got to play one of them. Richard, what up, Richard? Thoughts on Mike Evans' terrible game? Should I worry about starting this week? No, he went against one of the best corners, and I think it was DS that brought that up earlier with AJ Terrell. So no, I mean, listen, he had one bad game. I mean, the guy is giving you tutties like crazy.
And to be fair, that's a divisional game. Those teams know each other. Like, that's a divisional game. Those teams know each other. Like, that doesn't surprise. I was surprised that he only had 1.3 or whatever it was. He had one catch, I believe. But if you have Mike Evans, you have to play him. And they're playing the Packers, so Mike Evans is going to have 7 catches for 113 yards and a touchdown. So,
yeah, I mean, nothing much is going to. I mean, before that game, he had 12 targets, 9 targets, 12 targets, 10 targets. So, and he had tutties in all those games, 2 tutties in one of those games. I mean, he's got 10 tutties on the season right now. So you absolutely have to play him. They're going against Green Bay. I think he'll have double-digit targets, or at least damn near close to it, and maybe close to 100 yards and a tutty as per usual. Is Christian Watson back this week? I don't know, but I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't be comfortable.
I wouldn't count on it either.
Play him? He's inactive for week 14.
I would if he.
Oh yeah, and I didn't say anything yet.
No, and listen, if he plays, you know, he was on a heater for the previous 2 weeks, and then that game against the Chargers, he was okay, but he can blow a tire at any game. Like, and I think that was another big factor in why the Packers didn't play as well. Remember, they're missing Aaron Jones, really haven't had him all season. Christian Watson, who was playing really well. You know, Jair Alexander was out, so it's tough. But
and they are playing Tampa.
Christian Watson
so, I mean,
plays, he's a big play
matchup.
threat, man.
It's a good matchup for sure. So depending on your options. Bunch of freaks on Twitch. Everything comes at once, Peacock on here. So whatever in whatever order of time the comments come in, it just kind of lines it up all in order. Birdman, DJ Moore easy said, okay, yeah, just play more, close your eyes, Peacock said. I feel it. Who else he's starting if he's sitting one of Allen or Moore? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I'm playing DJ Moore solely based on the QB, Justin Fields, not some backup. I feel you, Bogey. I feel you. Once Field is healthy as Moore. Yeah, I don't think you could go wrong either way, too. So, I mean, that is a good.
Listen, if Keenan doesn't play, that makes it an easy pick. You're playing DJ Moore, but the Keenan Allen thing is interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, if JJ's out, I mean, Addison is a decent play, too, in that one other question, but I think it's still any of the other guys. Herbert on IR. Yep. I saw that today. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, bro?
I saw it today as well.
I'm in the playoffs. I have
the hits
no
just keep on coming.
Quarterback right now, bro. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
DJ Moore's a monster.
Honestly.
Yeah, PB Dubs. I think PB Dubs sent me the Fields to Atlanta, I think. On Insta.
I would love that. That would be nice.
Changed my mind again. DJ Moore, yeah. Redraft with the Texans. Players are dead. Yeah, man. It's Amir Abdullah, Diaz said. There you go. Diaz said that Keenan will be facing Nate Hobbs, one of the best slot corners in the league. Give me more. All right, I feel it. Looks like we're going more there. Let's go more. Plug him in. I'm putting in a claim with the rest of my 27. Bro, I have no QBs in this one league. I'm about to blow all of my fab. I have like 175. I'm about to blow it all on Joe Flacco.
There it is. I ain't mad at that.
It's a one QB. Dude. I got no choice.
Doing work.
George, what up, George? Who should I pick up?
Flacco,
Chase Brown,
league winner. What?
Yeah. Chase Brown, Ty Chandler, Zamir White, or Tajay Spears?
Chase Brown.
Yeah, Chase Brown is seeming to be like the third down pass catching dude. And Mixon's still getting a lot of work, though, too. So, yeah, I got Chase Brown.
Chase Brown's been very efficient.
I gotta take him out. But yeah,
been very efficient, making big plays, especially with Jake Browning.
Ty Chandler is interesting. I'm not playing White. Spears is still behind Henry.
Spears is interesting. Spears is interesting too. He had some really good passing work, but they were down when he got a bulk of that passing work.
Who are they playing this week?
Tennessee is playing. Fuck are the Titans? Home against Houston.
No, most likely no Stroud, Nico, Dell. I mean, that might be a Derrick Henry ran game. No, you think that favors Henry a little bit more than Spears upside?
And like I said, Spears got a lot of his work done when the Dolphins were down because he came in for that passing work and he just ripped off a couple of big runs. So, yeah, I would tend to agree. That's why I say Chase Brown because I think that could be. Yeah, I'm going Chase Brown because I think that could be against the Vikings a little bit more of a balanced game, and I think Chase Brown's receiving work and upside and explosiveness could be utilized. Jake Browning's been fucking doing work as well. Jesus, they put a beat down on the Colts.
Yep. Guys, we'll get to all the questions. Appreciate everybody in here. I know I see it. We're a little behind, but I'll get to everything. Not only Sweat getting traded to Chicago, secondary getting healthier with Brisker. Yeah, I mean, keep Fields and still draft a QB. I don't know.
I don't see that. That's what would you do in that Bears situation? I think I would just trade Justin Fields and draft a quarterback. Right? They're probably going to have the 1 and the 3, the 2 and the 4, or something in there.
Yeah, we were wrong on Dobbs.
I wasn't wrong on Dobbs.
What can we do? Oh, yeah, you got that one. Simp, what up, Simp? Lost Herbert. Yeah, I feel you. Should I roll with Fields this week or pick up Browning or Flacco? All right, what's the matchups looking like real quick? We know Fields has got the tough matchup, right?
Fields has at Cleveland. Jake Browning home against the Vikings. I think I kind of like that. Although the Vikings did play well. It was against Vegas. It's against Vegas. I'm not putting much stock into that. Decent. And then Flacco has the game against the Bears. Is it Flacco?
Not putting much stock in Jordan Love's last few games. Putting stock in all those missed throws he had.
Last few games, he played one terrible game in the last month and change. So relax yourself. He's better than any quarterback you guys have. That's for damn sure.
No, you shut your mouth. That's a lie. We still got Kirk on the roster. All right. And now we got Nick Mullins that he's about to take us to the damn ship.
Yeah, so was Dobbs 3 weeks ago.
It's all right. Shit's changed. We're still going. We're still on the spaceship. We just got a different captain. I'm the captain now. Nick Mullins is
3-0 now. I was listening to a little bit of that broadcast, and they were like, that game set football back like 50 years watching that game. It was fucking garbage.
Yeah, well, you know what was garbage? The Packers losing, okay?
That's fair, but we put up points.
Yeah, that's how good we are. We didn't even have to put up points. Fucking lockdown D, bro.
Please, Aiden O'Connell.
Tell him, Marty.
Yeah. Marty, you better not, or else Marty, you're gonna get excommunicado. You start some shit.
All right. Well, my bad. We didn't even answer the question. Fuck, we're fucking around over here. All right, my bad. Who's Flacco got? Flacco's got the Bears, right? And they've been pretty good on D.
Yeah.
So is it Browning or are we just rolling with Fields here?
I think it might be Browning.
Bro, Browning's been fucking
awesome.
Like,
call it what it is. Awesome.
Like been a discount Joe Burrow. Like,
you know what I was thinking about too? Like next year, you're gonna have to start handcuffing your quarterbacks.
Oh, I've already fucking started that shit, bro. Early.
Like, what
Early. I've got
What
all
is
my
going
backup
on?
quarterbacks. It's fucking insane. And
What
we'll
is
talk
going
about that
on?
in the offseason because we've got to, and now it's running backs and quarterbacks. We've got to we stash. And typically you do always stash
In Dynasty, yeah, I get that.
quarterbacks for the most part to
But
a
even more
certain
so.
extent. But now we're talking about deep, like we're talking about extra
Third
deep guys
quarterbacks.
we're talking about guys that we never fucking even thought. I mean, Joe Flacco? Kidding me?
Right. Jake Browning. Nick Mullins.
So is it Browning against Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm taking Browning here at home. You could make the argument for Fields with the rushing, but he's on the road in Cleveland. That defense plays much better at home. I'm going to take Browning here at home against the Vikings.
I'm going to take Fields, but it just could be because I'm a Vikings fan. So that's a hard question for me to answer because I think our defense is playing good, but he would never have got Dobbs if Mullins was healthy. That's true, too. We probably wouldn't have. Fuck Dobbs, dropped his ass to activate Palmer. Guess I had to see it one more time, but got Purdy. All right, there you go.
Purdy.
Hammer, you was against Dobbs. Yeah, he was.
He
was. Stroud will clear protocols. Maybe.
I could see that.
That is true. Diaz.
He brings up a good point. Like a lot of
Mhm.
players are clearing a lot faster than we thought. I think Derrick Henry was in it. Cheetah, I believe. There was a bunch of guys, but Diaz is spot on where guys have been clearing. And I guess maybe because the playoff race is heating up where these guys, you got a guy out. Remember, guys were missing two weeks earlier in the season in concussion protocol.
Yep.
It's a really good point.
Update on Christian Watson.
Nothing yet.
No, we just talked about him, right? Nothing yet.
No, nothing yet.
Nothing yet. 31 week 0 the next. Yeah. Yep. Got to play Evans if he has a leg. There you go. Yeah, I'm starting him against Tampa. I feel you. It's hard to not. I'll maybe start him over Waddle. Well, Cheetah was a little bit banged up. Like, I don't know what his situation is. Like, he came back in the game, but then he wasn't on the field for the final drive, right?
No. He was. I think he was in a walking boot after the game or something like that. Like his ankle was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think we've got to kind of keep an eye on that. I mean, you've got some time. They don't play Thursday, right? No. So yeah, you've got some time. So we'll just keep an eye on it.
And they have a tough matchup. They play Sunday against the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Best Bowl 12 team start 11 tiered. Okay, lost to bye facing the juggernaut. Damn, that sucks. So I trade Sutton in a 25-second for Kamara. I don't mind it. And Lockett. What y'all think? I mean, it's best ball, so Sutton in a second for Kamara, Lockett. So we're going for the gusto. I'm absolutely fine with moving Sutton. I know he's gotten tutties all season, but I mean, we are playing best ball, so I mean, he doesn't have that boom like Kamara has. You know what I mean?
Especially with the receiving upside out of that position.
And then you basically pay a second. Yeah, I like it. I'm fine with that. What do you think?
Yeah, in a best ball scenario, that's fine because Lockett had a pretty solid game, if I remember correctly, and Kamara has that just ridiculous receiving upside out of the running back position. So yeah, it's good work.
I like it, Diaz. Approved. Cap casualty 2024. Aaron Jones. Yeah, I can feel that for sure.
I can 100% see that. And I'm actually surprised because before he signed this recent deal, it looked like they were going to move on from him. I think he was rumored to go to Miami. Miami was supposed to be a heavy favorite maybe like 3 years ago or something like that for Aaron Jones. But the Packers ended up keeping him. He's been pretty good. He's one of my favorite, Green Bay running backs in recent vintage. So, but he's just too hurt all the time. He had that one big game against the Bears early in the season. I got excited because I thought it was going to mean good things, and he's pretty much been hurt ever since.
Like the stream chat. Appreciate you, PB Dubs. Everybody throw that like in there. If you're watching, appreciate you. It's a free way to support the channel. If you're new, feel free to smash that subscribe. Throw any questions you got in the chat. Marty said Jefferson is playing. It's the replacement season. Yeah, it's crazy, man. We're about to have Shane Falco out there.
Shane Falco. What a name drop.
Yep. Atlanta D or Saints?
Okay. Let's see what we got here.
Or for this week, Birdman? Atlanta's got Carolina. That's pretty juicy.
And the Saints got the Giants. Saints at home, though. And Tommy Cutlets was running around like prime Michael Vick. I will exit off this chat right now if I see that bullshit one more time. No, I'm not even going to react to it. I'm just going to ignore. I'm going to pretend I don't see that garbage anymore.
Listen, New Orleans just went crazy on Carolina.
Yeah, I think I like the Falcons in this one.
Yeah, I'll take the Falcons too. Yeah, man, he propelled me to the playoff. Yeah, he's been doing it. Redraft, 8 make the playoffs, went from last to second 2 years in a row. Injuries got bounced in the first round because there's no bye for top 2 teams. I'm sick of this. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the fun part though about playing in
like a crapshoot
leagues with like different rules or and different kind of format and different situations. Like his chat talks, so you ain't gotta read it. All good, Birdman. Chase Brown didn't get put on the injured reserve early. Would assume that Samaje Perine role. Yeah. I like Chase, and unfortunately he got hurt. So now he's finally happy. I mean, finally healthy. Well, and happy. But yeah. Some redraft, half Stroud, putting in claim, blowing all the fab. Who the priority after Stafford, Flacco, Browning, Geno, spending all of my 14 fab I have left. All right, what's some of those? What are some of these matchups that they got coming up?
So I think we talked about it with some of the defenses as well, but let's see. So the Rams got Commanders, home against the Saints, at the Giants. I think week 18, nobody really plays, but if it does matter, they have at San Francisco week 18. I'm not crazy about that, but most people don't play in week 18. Joe Flacco has home against the Browns, at the Texans, home against the Jets.
Okay, Geno. Brownings is not that. Brownings got Minnesota, Pittsburgh, KC, and they're playing away for Pittsburgh and KC.
Geno's tough as well. Home against Philly on Monday night this week, at Tennessee, home against Pittsburgh.
Say it again. Tennessee, Pittsburgh,
Philly this week, Monday night.
Okay.
At Tennessee.
But he's a little bit banged up.
Home against Pittsburgh. I don't think I'm playing Geno.
If he wasn't hurt, maybe. But I don't know. Flacco, at least, like I think Flacco's got to sling it, right? Chicago, Houston,
Jets.
Well, we'll worry about the Jets when we get there, I guess, right?
Okay.
I mean,
that's fair.
Right, fair. Chicago, Houston. I mean, that's what we're looking at. And then Stafford is who again?
Stafford is Commanders this week. You love that. Home against the Saints.
Listen, at this point, I'm not even going to look ahead. I'm just going to find the best quarterback matchup for this week, and I think I'm just going to roll with Stafford. And then we'll worry about week 16 after. I mean, they've got the Saints.
That's fair because next week won't mean shit if you don't win now. So I understand that thinking.
Exactly. Maybe you can pick up 2 of these guys. I don't know.
I'm torn between Stafford and Browning. Just because Jake Browning's playing so well and he has his full complement there, and then you add in the Chase Brown, like he's playing so well, like, and he's got all of his guys are there now. T. Higgins back in the fold, Jamar Chase, right? He's got a couple of tight ends that he finds in the red zone. Chase Browning's really good. Joe Mixon scoring touchdowns. Like It might be Jake Browning.
It might be. And maybe it's just because I'm a Vikings fan, but I think they give a lot of different looks where they're, you don't know if they're bringing pressure or they're not bringing pressure. I think that, maybe for a young quarterback, I don't know. I don't know. I just think that the way Stafford's been playing, like, I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit right now. Stafford's been playing awesome. Washington D sucks. And I guess I just feel more comfortable doing that. And maybe it is because I'm a Vikings fan and I'm a little more biased towards that. But I think that's the logic that I go with. Is just Stafford's on fire. Washington defense sucks. Fuck it. Give me Stafford.
That's fair. I mean, I'll roll with Browning just because, like I said, I like all of his weapons. And he's playing probably as well as any of those other guys.
No, I feel it. Definitely about to fire everybody. Mullins is Case Keenum 2.0. Let's fucking go. Let's go, Marty. Let's go.
You fucking Vikings fans just reach for any little glimmer, any little shiny coin, any little shiny penny on the street. You reach for.
At least we got a glimmer. Love, Goff, or T-Law?
I actually have good posture right now after that comment.
Love, Goff, or T-Law we going with? After that last performance?
Love has the good matchup. And I'm going to Detroit home against Denver. Detroit plays very well at home. And the Jaguars home against Baltimore. I don't like that matchup for.
Yeah, I don't
Trevor
like
Lawrence.
that matchup either. Who's
so
Love got?
Love has home against Tampa Bay. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I think we're going with Love.
I'll roll with Love as well, but Jared Goff is a close second because he's at home.
I agree. I just, like we've been saying the past few weeks, I just feel like if the Packers are going to score, it's going to be a passing touchdown. I
think they figure some things out, and you might get Christian Watson back. You know what I mean? I don't think Aaron Jones is going to play, but whatever, we'll see. So,
yeah, Packers definitely don't want this Viking defense right now.
Well, Marty, the way you phrase that, that's a pause for you.
Brownie. Bailey Zappi shredded the Steelers. I'm going Brownie. I can feel that.
Bailey Zappi did.
Is that who they were playing? Is that who they're playing? Pittsburgh?
Who?
Browning?
No, Jake Browning's playing Minnesota.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad. I'm naked handcuffing this upcoming year.
So am I, Diaz.
Yeah, they're playing the Vikings. That's what I'm saying. It is kind of tough for at least I think, but it could just be my Viking in me. Mullins was serviceable for Shannon's Jimmy G's first year. Similar system in Minnesota. Yeah, you can say that. Hell yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I'm with you, PB Dubs. Drake London is my guy. And you saw him be able to go up and snag shit. Like you saw, I think a lot of people now can see this guy can really fucking play. It's just
we've seen flashes though. I think it was more the quarterback play.
I know we've seen flashes, but I think a lot of people are just off in general. Just they're so off of that situation. But then when you see games like this, it's like, and we see situations change all the time. This situation is going to change next year. I don't think Ritter is going to be the starter next year.
I don't think so either. But I will say this to PB Dub's point: one game doesn't sway me one way or the other. How I think about him, whether it was good or bad. I think Garrett Wilson's the best out of that class. I think it's pretty clear that Garrett Wilson's better than Drake London. But Drake London can make plays, right? He can be, as you say, he can profile as a wide receiver one. But I think Garrett Wilson's better.
Miami could not move the ball the same. Waddle was the guy. Freak retires to 2-point. I'm not sure Waddle is him. Well, I think it was weird. I think it was a little weird that it was almost like Wilson filled Hill's slot. Because he was the one that was going in motion instead of Hill at that point. And then he had a couple targets, a couple catches or whatever. So I didn't look into it. So somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like Waddle didn't just slide into the Hill role. I don't even know if they prepared for Waddle to be just the only guy out there. I don't know, but I would think that McDaniels is smart enough to get him the football if Cheetah's
you
out.
would think.
So
you would think,
we would think, but Yeah, go
One
ahead.
thing, and I kind of do agree with what you're saying is, but one thing I did, and I was a little disappointed in. So in my home redraft league, I needed a win and in, and I had Waddle, and my opponent had Hill. And when Hill went out pretty early in that game, I was like, yeah, Jalen Waddle's going to eat. He's probably going to go over 100 yards. He's probably going to get a touchdown. Like I was expecting, chunk plays, and it just really didn't amount. He finished with a solid line. I think he had 6 for 79 on like 8 or 9 targets. But I feel like we expected more, especially if Tyreek Hill's going to be out, and it just didn't really amount to that. Now, to be fair, their running game is really good with Mostert and Achane, so that that should temper those expectations with Jalen Waddle. And I think that's part of the reason why Jalen Waddle hasn't been as prolific as we thought he would be, is because that running game has been so effective, right? With Achane and Mostert.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that kind of breaks down in my head anyway.
Yeah, Cortland's been solid, but he hasn't had like bust out games. No, yeah, but for sure.
He's a touchdown machine, dude.
Feel like Isaac, what up, Isaac? Feel like defense is trying to hurt players the way they tackle and hit high, low, and drag down. I think a lot of that from behind stuff, right? I mean, from behind, right?
So I was watching NFL Live on the TJ Hawkinson tackle. Remember when TJ Hawkinson got tackled from behind and kind of got rolled over? Like when you're out there running around as fast as those guys and having to make split-second decisions, like it's football. You can only legislate out so much stuff. I don't want to see guys get hurt either, but if these guys are not robots, right? You can't program them to tackle a certain way depending on the situation, right? Every situation is different. So I agree with it. I don't feel like people are trying to hurt people out there. They're just playing how they played since they were 6 years old.
Mm. Simp. Oh, my bad. I missed James's. My bad, James. Saints or Chiefs D? They've both been pretty solid.
Yeah, so we talked about the Saints. They play home against the Giants, and then you got Kansas
Chiefs
City taking on New England.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one because New England played well their last game, and so did the Giants against the Packers. I think I'm going to go with Kansas City, though, on the road. I don't think New England's that good.
I can see that. And they're pissed.
That's fair.
You could go either way, honestly. I mean, I have the Saints D in a few leagues. I mean, I think you can feel comfortable with either of these defenses. I don't think New England or the Giants are going to put up massive points against either of these guys. I would say maybe the Saints can cause some more turnovers or sacks, at least. I don't know, but
did you know?
I'm okay with either or.
I'm going to leave this here. Tommy DeVito was sacked 28 times, and I think it's like 3 or 4 games or whatever the case may be.
Oh.
The Packers, guess how many sacks they got? As many as we had.
As many sacks
0.
as you had? You had 0 sacks.
I had 0 sacks. That's how many the Packers had against Tommy DeVito.
So, yeah, maybe you do roll with the Saints. Maybe I'll go with the Saints.
A Giants offensive line is still not that good.
You could go, either or.
The Packers were.
Sim said he's got Waddle, Bijan, Gibbs, Monty, and Cook right now in the starting lineup. Should he flex any 2 of these for either Ridley, London, or Connor? Tough matchups for Waddle, Cook. Just looking for upside.
See, the one thing, Simp, you don't want to do is chase points here, right? Obviously, London had the massive game, and it would be very tempting to get him in there. But you might play him over Waddle. I'd had Drake London on my bench in that game in the home league that I lost. And my receivers were CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, whatever, and Jaden Reed. And I couldn't fit London in there. And it burned me.
Oh, you played Reed over London?
Reed had a good game, yeah.
Oh,
I played Waddle over London.
I think I would have played London over Reed, though.
Maybe, but Reed had a good game. It wasn't like if Reed had 4 points, I would have been like, yeah, I'm an idiot.
I agree, but I think the ceiling is a lot higher for London, even though obviously it hasn't been great.
Well, that's kind of my thinking. I mean,
that's here nor there, I guess. Now,
listen, if I played London period over any of my 3 receivers, he had the best day out of all of my receivers, and he was on my bench.
Should I flex any of these 2 for either Ridley, London, or Connor? Wait, flex Ridley, London, or Connor? Waddle, Cook. Not Connor. I don't know. Who's Connor?
The only one here is London.
Yeah, I think if any of them, it would be London.
No, Connor's home against San Fran.
All right, so definitely not Connor. So we can play London instead of Cook or Monty
London instead of Waddle.
Or London instead of Waddle. I mean, I think if Cheetah's out, it's hard for me to sit Waddle at that point.
That's fair.
I'm not missing a fucking 200-yard game. And I know that's looking at the ultimate bright side, but you don't want to miss
It's
it.
possible.
Like,
we've seen Waddle do that.
So who's Buffalo got?
Buffalo. Oh, home against Dallas.
Yeah, that could be high scoring ish, right? Do we want Cook?
In Buffalo? Yeah, I think I like some James Cook right now. He's getting some passing work, and you like to see that.
London against Carolina, fucking hell! Damn, bruv. Monty.
Couldn't make that argument because Monty doesn't have as high an upside. You definitely want to play Gibbs there
against Denver. I could make the argument for Monty there. I think
you could.
That would be my suggestion. Stafford has the best playoff schedule. Yeah, Frank, what up, Frank? Won my game, but everyone I needed to lose won. Ah, fuck. Finished 7-7. Thanks for all the help, y'all. The best. Appreciate you, Frank. And even though you're not in it, still come around, hang out in the chat.
That happened to me twice, Frank. Twice yesterday. Don't feel bad. In the same night. Garbage.
Browns or pick up Falcons or Saints for this week. Feel like dropping Palmer to grab another defense. Broncos for week 16 is what I was thinking.
I wouldn't roster 2 defenses.
What if you get an injury? What if you win and get an injury and then you need Palmer?
Right. And I think if Palmer comes back, he could be pretty effective.
Yeah.
Obviously,
no
Herbert.
No Herbert. That's not even the same now. All right, that's understandable. Yeah. Now, yeah, that's fine. I'm with whatever.
Yeah, I would agree.
Start defense: San Fran, Arizona, Cleveland, at Chicago.
It's got to be the Niners, no?
Is it? I guess. Yeah, I'll go with the Niners.
Yeah, I'll go San Fran there.
I mean, Stafford's the best play. Yeah. Stafford over Allen? No, I'm not playing Stafford over Allen.
We actually had this question last week if we were playing somebody over Josh Allen. We're like, nah, Purdy. I think it was Purdy over Josh Allen.
Your Cup, Puka, yeah.
Zeno. I love that.
They tank and they press man on Hill. No help over the top on the slot play. All right, guys. We're going to start getting into some of the running back stashes that we've got here. Reed was the right call. Yeah. Reed going to play for sure. We'll see. I know he was trying.
Did you hear what his wife told him?
What his wife told him?
There's a clip out there where Tyreek was like, "Yeah, I was injured on the sideline, and my wife texted me and said, 'Get your bitch ass out there.'"
Oh God, gotta love that. But all right, yeah, we talked wide receivers. We talked wide receivers last week, so let's talk running backs this week. Let's talk about running back stashes, and we can start with kind of the same question we started with last week for the wide receivers, which is, what makes a good running back stash? What are we looking for in a running back that we want to stash? We always talk about the situation, not only currently that they're in right now, but what might be that situation next year, right? What could be possible for next year? And are they going to get a chance to play, or not only maybe have a role in an offense, but are they going to be a backup to a really relevant offense or behind a stud running back that's in front of them? So I think those are obviously very important things, because nowadays everybody's kind of on the running back tip now because of what happened this year. A lot of people are now on the running back tip, and people are starting to roster a lot of the running backs. So now it's almost like we have to be a little bit more selective in which ones that we even want to go after now. So I think that is always an important part in kind of deciding who do we want to go after, right? Because, like, say for instance, this year, like, Saquon got hurt. Having Matt Breida didn't mean anything, right? He wasn't important. Like, you had the backup running back, but it wasn't important, and he didn't do jack. So I think these are the things that we're looking for in what we're looking for in a running back stash. What's the chances? What's the opportunities? And it's not even so much as like how good they even are. Like, because if you're getting the opportunities and you're getting the work, like, you're going to put up productive fantasy points. But what do you have to add to kind of what we're looking for in a running back stash, or if you want to comment on anything that I said there?
So I actually struggled trying to put my list together, just because the running back position is such a fickle position in the NFL, right? We're seeing guys that I really not that I didn't know per se, but I didn't even think were on the radar, just come out of nowhere and get opportunities. Now, there were some guys that I was aware of that got some opportunities. Obviously, Achane is one that comes to mind. Jerome Ford, Zach Moss, like those type of guys that come to mind. But even further down, it starts to really go. So like DeMercado was a hot pickup one week. So for me, it was a little tough to put this list together, just because of the volatility of the position. And not only, it's not like a wide receiver position where we know there's really a true kind of next man up type deal. A lot of these running backs, they're by committee anyway. There's only really like 3 or 4, maybe 5 guys you could stretch that to, that we know are the clear workhorse type backs. The Derrick Henrys, the Josh Jacobs, the Christian McCaffreys, the Saquon Barkleys, and Breece Hall you could throw in there a little bit. Obviously, Nick Chubb before he got hurt. So I really did struggle trying to put this list together, just because of the volatility of the position.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I've got a few guys here, and we'll start getting into them. But yeah, so I guess I'll get into my first guy here. And, we're looking forward, right? What is going to happen next year? This is a guy that was injured a little bit this year. They signed a player to back up the main running back. So he kind of was forgotten about a little bit. And the guy that I'm talking about is Israel Abanikanda.
Okay.
So Israel Abanikanda, running back for the Jets, right? Was a good running back coming in, had good, had really good college production, and kind of got buried a little bit when they signed Dalvin Cook. Now, Dalvin Cook is not going to be there next year, right? Breece Hall is the guy. He's the main guy. And again, we're talking about a backup to a workhorse guy that could be in a good offense if Aaron Rodgers is healthy and is there. So if something were to happen to Breece Hall, I think Izzy would be the next guy that steps up in there and takes the majority of that workload. So for me, that's why I like Izzy Abanikanda for a running back stash that literally will cost you absolutely nothing. I mean, maybe a 4th round pick. You might even be on waivers in some leagues, depending how deep, your league is and your format. But what do you think about Izzy Abanikanda as a stash, running back dynasty stash?
We talk about this, and we talked about this with the wide receivers. It's relative to the value, right? So if it's not going to cost you much, then why not, right? I'm not as high on him as you are, but I think the relative value makes it fine. You know what I mean? Because he's one of those guys, especially if Breece Hall does go down, that they could plug in there. And if he's led with an Aaron Rodgers, type offense, that you feel at least halfway decent about that he'd get some meaningful work for you. So relative to the value, I'm totally fine with that. And most of these guys that we're talking about stashes are relatively good values because they're either on the waiver wire or you could pick them up for a 3rd round pick somewhere, something like that. So yeah, listen, you talked about this before, and it's a philosophy that I sort of adopted as I started to get more into Dynasty. Obviously, with the subscriber league, we're going to have another one next year, the sub 2 league. So is just picking up these backup running backs. Like, just fuck it, they could turn into found gold. Jerome Ford, I had him on my sub league, buried on my roster, and he turned out to be a really good value. I think I got a 2nd round pick for him or something like that, or I traded him for Zach Moss, and then Zach Moss for a 2nd round pick, whatever the case may be. So those guys could turn into found gold relatively quickly.
Yeah, it's just all the factors that basically go into it, right? Dalvin Cook not going to be there next year, most likely, right? So who's going to be the backup to Breece Hall? Breece Hall is the main guy. What's the chances they're going to draft a running back high? Probably slim, right? So Izzy, I think, has a clear, almost clear shot at being the number 2 guy there and locking in that role. And then again, we talked about the good offense. We talked about Aaron Rodgers. So if something were to happen to Breece Hall, Izzy can step right in and kind of be that be that fill-in for you. So, those are the reasons why we're looking at Izzy, all the reasons that we're looking for in a dynasty stash. So for me, I really like that one, especially because he's not on the radar right now with Dalvin Cook on that team. So that would be my number 1. Well, not number 1, but one of the dynasty stashes I like at the running back position. So what is the guy that you have for us today as your dynasty RB stash?
So I have a couple of guys. One that really stands out in terms of value. The other 3 names you're probably more familiar with, but the one name that just came to mind, actually, and I'm like, damn, this would be a fantastic value. Bogey might appreciate this. He it looks like he overtook my boy Eli Mitchell, and that is San Francisco running back Jordan Mason. Now, because Christian McCaffrey dominates that backfield so much, there's really nobody else, on the radar in that San Francisco backfield. But I will say this, that Jordan Mason, when he's come into the game, he's done some work, not a ton of work, obviously, but he's done some really good work backing up Christian McCaffrey. And he has 3 touchdowns on this season. And he's never played more than 24% of the snaps in any given game. So I really do like Jordan Mason. I do think the workload on Christian McCaffrey could take a toll at some point. Now, he is getting a little bit older. I think he's going into his age 27 season. And there's a ton of mileage on that body, right? Especially the way San Francisco utilized him this year. And we've seen when these guys have that massive workload, it tends to take their toll on them next season. I'm actually really surprised that they didn't spell McCaffrey more and use Eli Mitchell or Jordan Mason a little bit more. But Jordan Mason, I think he's a really good stash. And in case Christian McCaffrey does get injured, he did have an injury history before he got to San Francisco and drank from the fountain of youth. So I think I like Jordan Mason as a nice value stash, especially if you have CMC.
Yeah, I like Jordan Mason as well. I mean, he's there for one more year. There's a good chance he is that second guy there again next year. Obviously, it would take a CMC injury for him to be really relevant. But again, does he maybe carve out a little bit of a role? Are they still going to run Debo as much? Are they still going to run CMC
That's
as
true.
much?
I think Debo.
Yeah, I think we've seen this year, like instead of using the Eli Mitchell, it's like, okay, we're going to just use Debo. We might as well. So, and again, those guys are getting a little older. So do they start to back off that a little bit and give Jordan Mason a little bit more burn where he's pretty valuable? So listen, I like the stash, and I think he's been the stash for a little bit now. I mean, Eli Mitchell the guy can never stay healthy. I mean, he can never stay healthy. I mean, he doesn't even play and he can't stay healthy. So I don't understand it, but
And listen, to your point really quick, Deebo Samuel has an injury history, so it's not like he's always going to be available as well to kind of fill in that complementary, pseudo running back role, to spell McCaffrey. So that's why I do like Jordan Mason. And San Francisco loves to run the ball. Like they love to utilize their running backs in a number of different ways. So I think he's a good value on a fantastic offense.
yeah. No, I like Jordan Mason. I think he's probably just going to cost you a fourth, if that. If he's going to cost you a third, like I'd probably just want to facilitate a different kind of trade for that team, and then like try and have Mason as like a throw-in. Because I just don't know if I want to spend a third. If I want to spend a third on him, but he is in that San Fran offense like that. Any running back there is huge, so maybe you do spend the third on him. If you've got a few thirds, you throw the third at him.
And he's probably even more valuable, as I said, if you have CMC.
But yeah, I would just try and get him, maybe thrown in a trade or something. But yeah, I like the Jordan Mason. All right, let's get into another guy here that I'll talk about. And my next guy is going to be Chris Rodriguez on the Washington Commanders.
You've mentioned him before.
I've mentioned him a few times. He was a guy in the offseason I kind of told people to stash a little bit. And we don't know what's happening with Gibby next year, right? He's going to be a free agent. So Antonio Gibson will most likely be walking to another team, and that leaves Brian Robinson and Chris Rodriguez. So Chris Rodriguez is more of a B-Rob type of guy, where he's more of a, first and second down guy. He can catch the ball a little bit, but not really want to depend on him. They're probably bringing another guy to take on the pass catching work or the third down work. But another team where if B-Rob were to go down, I feel like Chris Rodriguez would step into that B-Rob role. So he could be somewhat valuable for you next season. So again, another guy that is behind a main guy that is most likely going to have that number 2 spot on that team. And it's better off to get him now than it is to try and get him later or next year when everybody sees that he is the second guy, because people tend to forget about them in the offseason a little bit. And then once the season starts up, it's like, all right, who's the actual backup now? Let's see. Get him now where it's going to be much cheaper. He's not scoring points on anybody's team. So, he should be a lot easier to get if he's not even on waivers if you're in a more shallow kind of league. So Chris Rodriguez would be my next guy. You can probably get him for a fourth or get him thrown in a trade, maybe a late third if you've got a few.
Yeah, once again, the value relative, especially being behind 2 guys that the fantasy community is very familiar with in Gibby and B-Rob, like that. There's tremendous value there, right? Especially if Gibby's not around. It seems like he's been in the doghouse all season with his fumbling prowess. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. And that Washington offense, I think, has surprised us, statistically, from a statistical standpoint anyway, with Eric Bieniemy there. So yeah, pretty solid stash guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little deep for you guys, because a lot of guys are on teams already, and like they don't want to trade them away. So trying to come up with guys a little bit early where, I don't know if there's a trade deadline in all of your leagues or not, but as soon as the season's over, where you can start trying to make moves where people are not really going to care much about these guys at the moment. They're going to want some of the new rookies that are coming in, so. But yeah, I mean, even if you're moving back, like if you've got a 3rd round pick and, somebody wants to move up from the 4th round to the 3rd round, it's like, all right, give me Chris Rodriguez in the 4th and I'll move back. You can move up and take the 3rd. These are things that you can try and do during the draft to just try and pick up, an extra asset, a guy that could possibly gain some value.
For sure.
But All right, Hammer. Do you have another stash for us here?
I do. And this guy was on the radar fairly early in the season and even in the rookie drafts, but just has been invisible this season. Currently out. It's been out for a while. And people may have soured on him. People may have even dropped him potentially, not in obviously super deep dynasty leagues or whatever the case may be. He's behind all-pro running back and a really good secondary running back. So he's essentially the third guy. He plays for the New Orleans Saints. That is one Kendre Miller. Mm-hmm. And I think the value for Kendre Miller is going to be really good because, like I said, he's not playing currently. So his value's taken, obviously, some sort of hit. He plays behind Kamara, who came back. He's playing behind Jamal Williams as well. So as that third running back, I don't think Jamal Williams is going to be, there, obviously, for an incredibly long time. I don't know what his contract situation looks like. I think he's on a 2-year deal, 3-year deal, something like that. But I think there is good value in a Kendre Miller. Now that Saints offense is very hit or miss. But I do think with Kamara getting older, right? We've kind of seen, Kamara, even last year, Kamara wasn't that good. This year, he kind of bounced back after the suspension, but I think Kendre Miller has some good value. And I think he could be one of those post-hype sleeper kind of guys where everybody's high on him. He doesn't really produce out the box. And then people just give up on him pretty easily. And they're just like, fuck it. I'll trade him for a back end third or something like that. Or as a throw-in on a trade, like you said, with the Chris Rodriguez, just as a throw-in. So I think there could be some good value there.
Yeah, I think, and Kendre Miller, RB 34 on Keep Trade Cut. He's kind of like a mixed bag of reactions from people because I was big on him when he went to the Saints. It was just a matter of understanding that it's probably not going to happen right away when you've got a Kamara and you've got a Jamal Williams. Now, I don't think Jamal Williams is very good, but he's still on that team. Do they keep him on the team next year? We'll see what happens going forward. But I think Kendre Miller is more of a future kind of guy. We'll see what happens with Kamara the next couple of years. But Kendre Miller is more for the future, or does he start getting more work with Kamara, where it's more of a kind of split as Kamara's getting a little older now? So we'll see what happens there. So, yeah, I do like Kendre Miller. He was big coming in, so he was kind of costly. He was like an early second-round pick. But I think, like you said, it's kind of under the radar right now. You might be able to get him for a third or maybe a throw-in on a trade. But, yeah, Kendre Miller I do like as kind of a sneaky little dynasty stash there. I like it. And then just going back, like Israel Abanikanda is RB 58 on Keep Trade Cut. Chris Rodriguez RB 60 on Keep Trade Cut right now. So we're getting a little down there. We're getting a little deep.
Spicy down there.
We're getting a little spicy down there. I'm gonna go. I do have another one. Hold on, I'm trying to find them on Keep Trade Cut here. All right, I got him here. Here we go. My next stash, and these are kind of like bonuses. This guy is RB 90 on Keep Trade Cut. Is Christopher Brooks, another guy that I talked about a little bit, coming into the season on the Miami Dolphins, backing up Mostert, backing up Achane, Wilson, and we know these guys are getting older. We know these guys are more prone to injury, and they've been injured even this season. So what's going to happen next season? I think Chris Brooks has a chance to, be that probably maybe that third guy after Mostert and Achane. He's more of a first and second-ish down guy. He can catch the football, but he's not like an elite catching back or anything like that, but more for first and second down, which kind of fits like what they like to do anyway. So I do like Chris Brooks because if there was an injury, I think that he kind of steps into that Mostert-ish role. Achane kind of stays with his same role, or maybe he gets a little uptick as well. But I think Chris Brooks, especially on a good offense, again, a backup running back, he's probably the third string, but we know how that offense runs. On a great offense, a guy that could be valuable if injuries were to happen. And we know more than likely with these older guys, these injuries are going to happen. So Chris Brooks is a guy that I think is going to increase in value at some point next season. So I'd like to have him on one of my benches if I can.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people, obviously, with Achane bursting onto the scene, he's probably on the waiver wire at this point, which makes him even more of a value because you don't have to give up anything. You probably don't even have to give up fab for him at this point.
Yeah, this is a guy that is most likely, he's either 100% most likely he's either on waivers or on somebody's taxi squad. I have him on a couple of my taxis. He has played a little bit this season. Let me see if I can pull him up real quick. He had 9 carries for 66 yards in week 3, 7.33 a carry, although they did put up 70 on him that game, but he got the work. And then against Carolina, he had 6 for 28 for 4.67 a clip. So he's a guy that can run the football. So I like him, and he's incredibly cheap, like we said, most likely on waivers or on somebody's taxi. So this guy you can probably get for nothing, literally. Maybe some fab. Throw some fab dollars at him. All right, Hammer, do you have another one for us?
I do.
Good. Okay, let's go. What do we got? What's the next?
We got this guy, and I thought he would actually have a pretty decent role this year with the injuries to this particular team and this particular backfield. Their main back got hurt, as he always does. And he got cut by this particular team, which was incredibly surprising. And he was signed by the Kansas City Chiefs. He's currently on their practice squad. Keontae Mitchell. No, not Keontae. Keontae Ingram. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Keontae Mitchell's on the radar. He's firmly on the radar. Keontae Ingram. And what's interesting about that is that obviously Jerick McKinnon is a fossil in running back years, right? What are they doing with CEH? He's coming up on his, I believe, his 5th year option at some point. I think CEH is in his 3rd or 4th year. And then Pacheco, obviously we know Pacheco's really good. He's pretty much their main, every down running back. So I don't know why he's on Kansas City. Now I know Kansas City's offense is not what it used to be. And I think they're kind of searching for answers. And if he can come up and provide a spark, who knows if he even makes it to the active roster. But just like I said, one of those guys that was picked up. And I thought with James Conner being out that he would get a shot at it, and it just never happened. Like it was DeMercado. There was another guy out there who they had that they brought in, and they end up cutting Keontae Ingram. So Keontae Ingram, super, super deep stash. He's probably on waivers as well. And, just a guy that could be a potential call up, with McKinnon getting older, and McKinnon's expensive as basically a 3rd down, goal line guy. And what happens with CEH?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first one I actually don't know if I agree with you. It's only for the simple fact that he is a free agent next year. So I don't know what the chances are that they do re-sign him or have him on the practice squad. But to be fair, he could go to a different team and still be a backup somewhere. So he's a guy that can do a little bit of everything. He can run and he can catch. It's a little bit disappointing, like that kind of DeMercado was just better than him. I mean, but again, he is a backup running back. I just wonder where he's going to be next year is my only concern. And for the funny fact that you did bring up the Chiefs, my next guy actually is a Chief. Deneric Prince is a guy that we kind of talked about earlier when he got when they picked him up in the season. And Deneric Prince was a guy that can do a little bit of everything. And we saw a little bit of that, I think, in one of the preseason games. And so we got a little bit excited at first because, who knows what Pacheco, we didn't know with McKinnon, they didn't really have anybody. And if there was an injury, maybe he was going to come up because we didn't know what was happening with CEH. Obviously, that didn't happen. None of that happened. But again, let's look forward. McKinnon, like you said, will be a year older. He's another older guy, right? So Pacheco, maybe Deneric Prince can be maybe that third down pass catching guy. Maybe he can carve out a role. Or if Pacheco gets hurt, he's a guy that can come in. And he's a very, very deep stash, literally for free for this guy. Let me see if I can find him on Keep Trade Cut here. He's probably way deep.
I actually saw him on the waivers in our league.
Did you? I wish I could just. Oh, I can search.
Shout out to Michael Carter. I brought up Michael Carter last week. Picked up by Arizona.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So Deneric Prince, RB 112 right now on Keep Trade Cut. Literally, he's either on somebody's taxi or he's a waiver. I don't think he's on anybody's actual active roster. If he is, I mean, again, fab dollars will get this guy. I mean, literally cost you nothing but a guy that can find some playing time next year. Because CEH, what's the chances they re-sign CEH? So you're looking at Pacheco, and I mean, even McKinnon would have to sign a new deal, I think, because I only think they gave him a 1 year. Somebody have to check that because I didn't, but I'm just guessing because of how old he was. And they didn't even give him the contract right away. It wasn't until a little bit on that they finally just signed him. So yeah, I think Deneric Prince for me is another good deep dynasty stash. Oh, PB Dubs, come on, man. You're killing my last one for y'all. Rookie running back on the Giants. Yeah, Eric Gray.
I've heard that name.
So another, I guess that would be one of the bonus one would be Eric Gray of the Giants. We don't know what's happening with Saquon at all. So there's a possible chance that Eric Gray, I mean, what's the chances they draft use a high draft pick on a running back? I don't know. So there's a possibility that he's either, that number 2 guy behind Saquon in possibly a better offense if Danny Jones is coming back, or maybe they draft a QB. We don't know exactly what's going to happen there, but he could be a valuable guy. So yeah, he is another guy that I do like, PB Dub. So that was a good one. That was kind of my last one there for y'all. But yeah, Hammer, you have any last ones?
No, I don't have a stash per se, but more of I think I got a splinter. Jesus. I have a kind of a buy low guy that you can stash would be Tank Bigsby. I think Tank Bigsby, I know he's on a lot of rosters, but he hasn't done jack. I mean, he has a couple tutties here and there, but he hasn't done jack. When we really thought, if you remember back to our drafts, ETN's draft stock took a massive hit when they drafted Tank Bigsby, and Tank Bigsby has come in and do absolutely nothing outside of a couple of rogue touchdowns. So I think Tank Bigsby could be a good value pickup. And you can stash him because we see how this running back position is. So Tank Bigsby, I think, is a good value. Somebody that is on the radar, but definitely a good value trade.
For sure. I mean, I think I had him on one of my obvious lists, but now that you bring it up, I'm like, hey, I mean, Dearness Johnson is getting work. So really Bigsby is going to be really cheap for you to get, or again, as a throw in a trade, he shouldn't cost you much because of what's happening right now. So yeah, I do like the Tank Bigsby one. Just to kind of mention a few obvious ones would be like a Tyler Algier, right? We want that backup. We want that backup to Bijan. A Zach Charbonnet, right? We want that backup to Kenny
Keaton
Walker.
Mitchell.
Was a guy that
earlier
Chase,
on,
right? Chase Brown on the Bengals, right? What's going to happen with Mixon next year? Or even still, he still has a role apparently, even as of now. So, a Roshan Johnson, these guys are a little bit more obvious, and you might have to pay up a little bit more for because people still have faith in these guys. But Tajay Spears will be another one, right?
Yeah. He's kind of he's come on the last couple of weeks. Tajay Spears would have been a good buy maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, but he's starting to really pick up the pace in terms of getting, especially if the Titans are down. We saw exactly what he did. He actually killed me trying to get to the playoffs in our home dynasty league, where he had a ton of work when they were down by 2 scores late in the fourth quarter, and he got some really good receiving work that Derrick Henry I just don't think gets anymore. So Tajay Spears a pretty solid value.
Yeah. And guys, I know that these guys aren't sexy. They aren't sexy running backs to go out and get. But these are the guys where you can go 0 RB and you can stack up or rebuild your wide receiver room or your quarterback room and then roll. Like, because if you're killing people at some of these other positions, right? At wide receiver, at tight end, at quarterback, right? You can afford to have, the not greatest running backs and just a couple of those guys that you have find their way into the rotation. I mean, I have numerous teams where my run is in Dynasty, where my running backs I'm rolling with right now are, Kyron Williams, Zach Moss. Who else do I have? That kind of went off so far this year. That wasn't a guy that we expected. Why can't I think of it right now? Hold on. I'll just pull it up. Just pull it up. I'll tell you right now.
Jerome Ford was a really, really good
Jerome
one.
Ford. That's the other one. I was there. There it is. There it is. Yeah, Kyron Williams, Jerome Ford, Gus Edwards, right? All of these guys that cost you literally like nothing. These guys were either waiver wire pickups or you just stashed them on your team. And that's how I like to play Dynasty, because now I've got guys that are giving me RB1, RB2 production that cost me absolutely nothing. And I was able to get the wide receivers that I want. I was able to tier up at wide receiver position because I got rid of my Breece Halls. I got rid of my Jonathan Taylors. I was able to get CeeDee Lambs, Justin Jeffersons, Jamar Chases, trying to just tier up and getting rid of those running backs and then rolling with some of these other guys. And then if you are ready to go all in, then you can start buying some of those bigger name running backs. But it's not worth it to have those guys until like the real core of your team is set. At least that's how I like to play. There's a ton of different ways to play, but for me, I mean, that's what works out the most for me. And then on top of that, all of these running backs that we're talking about to stash, like we're looking for a profit. We're looking for the 3rd round pick next season. We're looking for the 2nd round pick next season that we can sell them to if we're not competing. If we're competing, obviously we can use these guys, but so, these are guys that we're just trying to make a profit on that can help us, in the future, that cost nothing, because these seconds, these thirds, these fourths, they matter when you're trading with people. They matter when the actual draft is here. So they're little liquid assets, literally, that will just gain value as we get closer and closer. Right.
And it's incredibly crazy how once the season starts, right, and these injuries start to pile up, they just become so much more valuable, right? Like you said, the couple of bigger guys is the Jerome Ford, obviously, because of Nick Chubb, and then Zach Moss with the JT, situation going in. So Jerome Ford and Zach Moss. Obviously, Kyron was kind of the guy pretty much out of the box, but not a lot of people were sure of. His value wasn't incredibly high going into the season, and then he's doing what he's doing. Imagine what you could flip Kyron for at this point.
Well, I mean, the one thing with Kyron is like, does this go on for next season?
That's the question.
Like, does it? Is it like, are they still going to have a good offense? He's still going to be the guy. Do they bring in somebody else? Like, I don't even know. I'm almost questioning it at this point. Like, all right, does he actually have a chance to do this next year too? With the amount of work that they're giving him. So I think he's a lot more like expensive name right now, but that one that people kind of weren't on. I luckily had him on 2 of my Dynasty rosters just because I'm stashing backup running backs. And I hated Cam Akers. But I didn't believe in Kyron Williams. I didn't think he was that good, but he's just getting he's getting the work. And PB Dub says it perfect here. Ford did what we want these other names to do. Exactly. That's all that we're looking for. But elevate
to a workload.
And since the dynasty kind of community is catching up to this whole, stash all the running backs, kind of every man in a 53, now we have to be more selective. We've got to try and pick out the right ones, looking at a variety of different things as we talked about kind of, all stream.
Yeah, it's like I said, when I was first putting this, my list together, it was really tough because like sometimes these teams are going 3, 4, 5 running backs deep, depending on injuries, ineffective play, etc. So, and then obviously running backs have a short shelf life, so you really got to cash in if you hit that, if you land that Jerome Ford, if you land that Zach Moss, if you land that Kyron Williams. A guy that's not highly touted, highly drafted, and then just finds his role, kind of James Robinson. Remember a couple of years ago when he just went nuts for the Jaguars? And people are like, yeah, he's going to be the franchise run. There's no such thing as a franchise running back. Let's just put that to bed right now. There's no such thing as a franchise running back. I don't care. Christian McCaffrey, I think it feels like the franchise. I wouldn't even consider Jahmyr Gibbs the franchise running back. Like it just doesn't, like those types of running backs are dying out. So to be able to get a good value on one of these guys, have it cash in like a Kyron Williams, right? If you were like on the fringe of making the playoffs and you traded Kyron Williams, you could probably net a second. Right, or you could cash that into
probably get even a late first at this point. A late first, even plus with the way that he's getting work and the possibility of people liking him for next year.
There you go.
That's crazy. That's the crazy part.
So that's found gold, right? After especially what the Rams were doing at their running back position, it's pretty much been in flux.
Yeah, I think for him it's a little bit different than like Jerome Ford. Like we know he's not gonna.
I agree.
He'll be the main guy, and Kyron's getting 25, fucking 30 touches. I mean, it's been redonkulous what he's been doing. But yeah, man. Nick, what's up, Nick? Which defense to pick up and play this week? Vegas, Browns, Broncos, Green Bay.
I'm not taking my chance with the Packers defense. I know they're at home and they tend to play better at home against Baker Mayfield, who can be turnover prone, but has been pretty good this season. Vegas, no thank you. I think it comes down to the Browns and the Broncos. The Browns at home. I think I might lean that way. Just to even bring up Denver as a potential defense is crazy from what we saw 2 months ago against Miami.
Yeah, I know that the Lions haven't been that great offensively,
but the Lions are at home.
I know that's what I'm saying. I don't think I want the Broncos. I don't think I want the Broncos. I'll take my chances with the Browns.
Yeah, I think I'm going that way as well.
Take my chances with the Browns. Marty Hull is another one. I mean, I got to save some for the offseason. I mean, I can't give them all out right now.
Marty wants it all right now.
I got to have something to talk about. We got to have something to give out in the offseason. There's more of these guys for sure. These are just kind of some initial guys that I'm thinking of that I'm currently trying to go after myself in some of my leagues. So
remember, we still got a whole offseason. We got a draft. We got free agency. So there's plenty of meat left on that bone. Pause.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Evan Hull is another good one. I know JT got the bag and everything, but again, we're looking at just guys who have that path to that next slot. Who is the next man up? Mm-hmm. And if JT were to go down, is Hull going to be that guy next year? So Hull is another good guy that I do like as a little RB dynasty stash. So
listen, if you're third on the running back depth chart, you're not that far away from meaningful work.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's fourth and fifth at certain points. It's crazy, right? Marty said McBride in 2 years. I liked McBride coming out, but the fact that he just can't even get on the damn field, and we were talking, and we signed fucking Cam Akers. I mean, it's like I don't even know at this point. So that's the rough part. But I mean, McBride is probably. Because you're still going to have Chandler and Madison. McBride is probably, I mean, again, he is a guy that probably could step in, but he's probably more of a guy that I just might buy into if that time comes. Like, I'm not as confident in him. At least I think.
Feel that.
But he is another guy that is on the bench. So if you want to look at it that way, yeah. Caddy, start two, Keenan, Cup, Devontae. Devontae, I guess.
Nah, Devontae has not been good, dude. Not been good. If Keenan plays, I'm playing Keenan and Cup. Devontae has not been good.
That bad? I don't got
He's been bad, dude.
Devontae.
I picked up Devontae. I was trying to shake shit up in the home subscriber league. He hasn't been good. Just not good.
He had 10 targets last week. He's getting some targets. I mean, I'll take that.
No, that was
it's not good, but they're going against the Chargers now.
No, I'm not. Maybe I'm a little too close to the situation because Devontae let me down since I traded for him. But I'm going Keenan and Cup. If Keenan doesn't play, that makes it easy, obviously. But listen, that Thursday game is really 2 out of these 3 guys. So I'm definitely playing Cooper Cup. And then if Keenan plays, I'm playing him. And then obviously if he doesn't play, you play Devontae.
Yeah, it's tough. I think I'll go Devontae, Keenan, especially with like maybe Jacobs a little bit banged up and we don't know if he's playing or not. Maybe they lean more on Devontae. I don't know. I feel like I want to go Devontae over Keenan, but it's fine either way. I mean, the same thing almost.
Feel that.
Ingram or Laporta this week?
I'm taking Sam Laporta at home. Ingram's been good, but the Lions are a different team at home. I'll take Sam Laporta. I know he didn't have I don't know what he did last week. I don't think he had a great week. No, he didn't have a great week. But on the road, they don't play well. At home, they play much better. Give me Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
Who's Evan Ingram have? Ingram's at Cleveland.
Ingram's been killing it.
He's been doing work.
I don't know. Can we go with the hot hand here? I mean, Ingram's been scoring lately. This guy's.
You could. He's
playing Baltimore though.
Oh yeah, he was at Cleveland and had 38 in tight end premium. So shows you what I know. Yeah, they're playing home against Baltimore. Yeah. The one thing we did say about Evan Ingram up until the last couple of weeks, he wasn't scoring touchdowns, but he was still in the top 10, and he with the last 2 weeks he's tight end 5.
Yeah, he's been going nuts with Trevor Lawrence a little bit banged up. I mean, do you think that had a little bit more do they think that had anything to do with it a little bit?
It's possible, but I'm still taking Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, bro. Might take Ingram on the targets.
I can't be mad at that.
I might go Ingram here, but you could go Laporta still. I mean, they weren't great last game. Maybe they come out a little better this game. Denver's been actually pretty good on D. So, and then you've got
My team in the subscriber league next year is going to be ridiculous. Watch. And I got Keaton Mitchell on the bench, on the taxi squad. I'm about to start rolling people. Sick of this shit.
I think I'm just going to go Laporta. We'll go Laporta with you. Jamie, what up, Jamie?
Jamie, been a minute.
Been a minute, bro. You missed the whole RB stashes, brother.
Go check it out on YouTube.
Oh man. But yeah, guys, let us know, what do you think about some of these stashes or why we're stashing them. And obviously we'll get into more in the off season, but yeah, let us know what you think. Drop any last questions y'all got in the chat before we hop up out of here, but appreciate everybody for coming through and hanging out. Hall at Miami,
buddy,
or Rashard at Green Bay. I mean, Rashard's been fucking awesome. I mean,
yeah, give me Rashad White. The Packers get killed on the ground, especially in the passing game. From running backs. I'm taking Rashad White here.
Yeah, I might have to too. Jamie said, "I bet all your stashes are smashes." Well, yeah, I guess I'll go over. I mean, I'll briefly go over some of the names. We had Chris Rodriguez. We had Christopher Brooks. We had Izzy Abanikanda. We had Deneric Prince. We had Eric Gray. Hammer had Jordan Mason. What was some of the other ones, Hammer? Because I
had Jordan Mason. I had Kendre Miller.
Jordan Mason, Kendre Miller.
I had Tank Bigsby as a buy low.
Tank Bigsby, yep.
And then there was I shouted out Michael Carter last week, and then Keontae Ingram, who you just said get the hell off that list. That doesn't count. So we'll scratch Keontae Ingram.
I did not say that. I just said I didn't necessarily agree with it. Like, I agree that if he's out there and like you have room on your bench and there's no other running backs out there, like, or any of the ones that we mentioned, okay, fine. Like, grab him. I'd rather have some of the other guys, but yeah, he's a deep stash that could find himself, or at least should find himself, on a team next year. So
that's why you're the Schwam.
Shut the Hole or Devontae in the flex. I mean, in that case, maybe we might go Brees. No, are you confident in Devontae, or are you just saying I'm going Brees at that point? Like, the upside is with Brees. No, I mean, Brees will have as many receptions as Devontae. Like,
it's Brees Hall here, bro. Brees Hall is just dominating in the fucking passing game, dude. 9, 8, 9, 6 targets. What? 8? He's had 5, 7, 6, 8 receptions in his last 4 games. He has 2 touchdowns. Receiving wise, he's only had 2 rushing touchdowns, which is very concerning. But Brees Hall has an incredibly safe floor with the receiving work.
For sure. Jamie C had a dude that lost Geno, Burrow, Dobbs in the playoffs. So last night I made a deal with him to give him Minshew for a 25-second. Lost Geno, Burrow, Dobbs. Minshew for a 20. Okay. Fuck up. Post in the chat our deal and ask if anybody can beat that.
Fuck not. Well, I mean, that's a little. That's a little. It's a little spicy.
He needs Minshew. I mean, he needs a quarterback. I mean,
you have the
second is not even that much of a tax. I mean, it's a 25-second on top of that. Like, that's not even that bad. I mean, he's in the playoffs. He's got no choice. You could probably fucking make him pay more than that. Who else is going to give him a quarterback?
Facts.
Or at least a good quarterback. I mean, actually, the second's okay. I'll take the second. Let's not be greedy, because then he'll go buy fucking Jake Browning for a fucking 4th. So, let's not be greedy. I'll take the second.
Let's not be greedy.
Or does he have anything else on his squad? Can you make it a 3rd and a player? Maybe one of the stashes, wide receiver stash, RB stash, something. There's got to be something on his squad, maybe. Maybe you drop it to a 3rd and a player, because then he feels like, okay, he don't give a fuck about the player. Right? It's somebody not really relevant to him right now. And you're still able to net a pick out of it. And I think maybe he'll feel a lot better giving up the 3rd instead of the 2nd,
Yeah. I mean, you have the leverage in this situation because he needs a quarterback. So.
No, for sure. But I'm just saying, if he's complaining about the 2nd, it seems like he'll take the deal if he can't get anything better. But yeah, I'm saying if there's anybody maybe that you like on the bench, maybe you take the 3rd and the pick. But if you can get the 2nd, I'll just take the 2nd. So see what happens with it. But if he takes too long, then you might have to switch it up at some point, just to get something instead of getting screwed out of getting nothing.
Yeah, you got to see if you could get rid of Minshew.
Calvo, what up, Calvo? Bench 1, Devontae, Waddle, DJ Moore, Puka. Devontae. Is it Devontae? I think it's got to be Devontae, right?
At this point.
Gotta be Devontae. Only reason I'm up so much is because he had Jacobs, Herbs, Hill, and Jay Jettis this week all injured. Okay, good. There you go. Boom. Boom, bro. Fucking awesome. If anything, go throw out trades, but don't post it on the chat. No, I agree that he shouldn't be posting the chat. But to be fair, I mean, I don't know. Can you don't hate the player, hate the game kind of thing here? I mean, hey, if I don't have to spend a second, if I can buy someone else for cheaper, I mean, I'm at least going to shop around, right? I mean, I know that it's bullshit, like, but at the same time, it's like, all right, you know, listen, I respect the fucking hustle, you know?
Yeah, I don't like that. That seems
Yeah,
bush
look,
league to me.
he traded he traded a fourth for fucking Trubisky. I told you, fuck.
Yeah,
I knew it. That's what happens. That's what happens. They'll just take anything. They'll take anything for cheaper.
I feel that.
And I'm not saying you were wrong for asking for a second, but the minute like he's not like all ready to do it, and he fucking, especially after he split it in the chat, I would have probably tried to throw him some different counters. But you live and you learn, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes the cookie doesn't always crumble your way, you know.
Facts.
We want the funk, yeah, Mr. Bakes a lot. You listen to Kanye? Yeah, I listen a little bit of everything. I mean, I don't like a ton of the rap nowadays. I mean, I'm old school Wheezy all day.
So what's funny about that, Caddy, is when I was at my job and we had, you know, we were all in the same room or whatever, we would always have like Kanye Day, Jay-Z Day, you know, Jadakiss Day. We bumped that, but that stretch that Kanye had in like the mid 2000s with College Dropout, Graduation, Late Registration, like that was those 3 albums there were just, this motherfucker don't miss.
Listen, music was different back then, bro. I feel like it was just so different. Like I don't really like much of the rap and hip hop nowadays. You know, so I'm very more old school like that time, you know, the Kanye's, the fucking Lil Wayne's, the fucking Dipset. Like, I mean, that was, you know, the Jadakisses, the fucking Cassidy's.
Fabulous.
Fabulous. Like, I mean, we were like that was some different, you know, and then it was the slow jams, right? The Genuine, the fucking the Mario, the fucking, like, you know, shit was just different. Shit hit different back then.
Yeah, you know? You know what's wild about that is that like when I'm cleaning in my house, we put on some music, and when we hear that like that early 2000s R&B, we're like, just like that's not available anymore.
Nope,
it's just not.
Nope. You remember when we went to that 90s party when I was part of that auto club, and we went
were you in Brooklyn or something like that?
Yeah. You're like, this motherfucker take me to the hood.
I remember that was like way out in the hood. I had a good time though.
That was an awesome time, bro. It was a 90s party. We were fucking just vibing. We got like this. It was like this $10 fucking drink, bro. And that's all you fucking needed. You were gone after that. It was strong. Like $10 fucking, I think it was a blue electric eel. I'll never forget.
Yeah. It was like that deep sea blue.
Yeah. I think in the off season, I think we'll just do like a show or a podcast where we just talk about
top 5 shit.
Like, yeah, just different, like regular shit, not even fantasy shit. Like maybe we'll just have a night that we do that.
We should do, because I follow these guys that do stuff like that where they have like top 5 cereals, top 5 rappers, top 5
or anything, yeah, or just anything to talk about in general. Last week offered him Minshew for a third, 2/3, but he declined as soon as he lost Dobbs. I strung on him for the second, and he was gonna accept. Yeah. Illuminati. Yeah, I don't know if I want to talk about the Illuminati.
Might hear us out there and send us straight to hell.
Tommy Cutlets, Dynasty value. Buy now before the legend grows, or is it all fugazi? Oh, it's fucking fugazi for me. I think he's playing solid, like not taking away anything from him, but I can almost guarantee he's not the future.
No. But he could be the backup.
To be fair, we said this. I guess Purdy was a little bit different situation, but he could be the backup. I guess he could be a valuable maybe dynasty backup, but yeah, I at best that's what I would put him at. So waiver wire pickup, 4th round pick. I mean, I'm not spending anything else on anything on him, but top 5 weed strains. Yeah, that's a good one too. We could do that. My all-time favorite is the White Widow. Like that was one of my. It's just that shit hit different. That shit.
I'm not as heavy into the weed as I was, but I will say being able to go out to California the past couple of years has definitely like opened me up to like the different strains. Obviously, one of our boys, is heavy into that. He had a farm out in Oregon, and so going out to California and looking up all the different strains on the app, and I'm just like, damn, there's like unlimited amounts of strains.
I probably have to say my next favorite would be the Granddaddy Perp. Granddaddy Perp, fire. I'm trying to think what else I mean, we're from New York, bro. The fucking Sour Diesel's gotta be in the top 5.
It's like the old reliable. That's
and the Haze too. I mean, Haze was big back in the day. I mean, that I'd be missing that shit. But yeah, I think those would be like some of my all-time favorites.
I like it.
I feel you, Jamie. I feel you. Oh, Julian, what up, Julian? Let's get to this big trade here in second to last. So I have my own 102. Okay. Took your advice that you DM me and made these trades. Okay. Christian Kirk and James Conner for a 2024 first and a second. Fuck yeah. And you traded Deontay Johnson. What did you trade Deontay Johnson for? And Rashard White. Okay, for first and seconds as well. Okay, I'm fine with that. Let's go. Now you got the first, you've got the capital, you've got the liquid assets that are going to gain value. I mean, Rashard White's been awesome, but you're rebuilding. Like I'm absolutely fine you getting the first for that. So I think that's awesome. Those are awesome trades. So now I'm guessing you have the 102. You have 2 other firsts, so you have 3 firsts right now, if I'm not mistaken, and one of them is the 102. Let us know what the other 2 are looking like right now. Are those playoff firsts? Are they slightly early firsts?
That's still good value, regardless, for guys that are not going to help you get back into contention.
Exactly, awesome. I dig it, Julian. Those are awesome moves, bro. Those are awesome moves. 106, 102, 106, and my guess is the 107. Fucking man, you're killing it. Now, I don't remember, Julian, so help me out because I deal with a shit ton of DMs. Is it 1 QB or is it Superflex?
Superflex, it would be an absolute steal.
Oh my goodness, you'd be
as good as you can hope for.
Yeah. Top 5 Tupac song. We're gonna have to make a separate. We'll make a separate podcast for that shit. Sour Diesels is 101.
Well played, Jamie. Well played.
Hell yeah, Superflex. Oh my god, Julian, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
Go get yourself a Marvin Harrison.
Now, Now, listen, I don't remember your exact situation, what your quarterback situation is right now, or if you need quarterbacks. But
send us your roster. We can do a roster review.
I'd be open to shop on the 106 and the 107. Yeah, email us. The roster review is down at the bottom. There is our Gmail. So just send us a an email, and then I'll hit you back with some questions. And we have a few different ways that we're going to do it this time. Whether we're going to do it just privately or we're going to do it on air. So, you can decide, how you want us to do it for you. Justin Fields, Lamar, Andrews, Garrett Wilson, Javonte.
Oh, so you got a nice little core.
So you got a nice little, yeah. See, can you get rid of Javonte? I mean, how many starters is it? I don't remember. If it was start 10, it's probably start 10. But I'd be okay moving off Javonte too, if we're able to pick up some more capital or somehow beef up or tier up at wide receiver or something like that. But yeah, we're gonna start, and we're not gonna do it right this second, Julian. But when we get it, once we get into the off season after the, after the fantasy season's over, we're gonna start opening up the roster reviews again, and we'll start doing those. So, but yeah, appreciate you guys. Any other questions? Throw them in the chat real quick before we get up out of here. The email is right actually on the bottom. It's in the description actually if you open up the description on the YouTube channel, but it's actually on the screen on the bottom right hand corner of the screen. It says roster reviews, Dynasty Life 4 ever at gmail.com. So but yeah, anybody else need roster reviews, make sure just hit us up and we'll put you on the list for when we're starting that up. Mr. Bakes a Lot said he got a shipment of some exotic herb called Snowpack coming in on Friday. 40 and 8th. Feels like it was dipped in Scarface's stash.
Yo, Scarface, man. Top 5 movies. Top 5 movies.
Oh, God. For sure. Jamie said, now that the off season is coming up, I'm not as busy, so I can't wait to join more shows. You guys rock, and my favorite Dynasty content. Appreciate you, Jamie. You are man.
So that's why we do this.
All right. Well, I guess we're about to get up out of here, y'all. We will see y'all. I'll see y'all on Friday night. We'll see y'all on Saturday night. And we'll see y'all, of course, on next Tuesday as well. So, all right, y'all. Peace.
Go Pack.
You ready,
Go
Jerry?
Pack.
I'm ready. Just want to make sure you're ready, brother.
No, Paul. No, we're cutting off the outro real quick. Don't. When it's not Go Pack, go. It's Go Vikings, go. Now we out.
You ready, Jerry?
Skol.
You ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother.
Show me the money.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
Put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile. Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
My pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. It's all a hustle, ladies and homies. Make money, money.